Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
All right, welcome in to Woodward Nights,
Let's
baby,
go.
with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate all of you guys tuning in here tonight. Packed show. Very packed show for the fellas, man. We've got a full squad here today. Booner, as always. Matt Broder, Detroit Lions beat reporter. And we've got a new member to the Woodward Nights crew. KG, baby.
What up,
KG, how you feel? Official home, I think, too.
I'm good, man. I'm mad. I'm kind of sick on my first day here, but you know it is what it is. We gonna make it do what it do.
Hey,
but
it's going around.
I'm excited to be here, man. I'm a night person anyway, so we gonna turn this shit up. Let's get it.
Let's go.
I love it. Hey, and we got Nick as always, sound booth. Nick, how we feeling?
That's the kind of energy I love. Let's go, KG. Let's make sure these guys look good, sound good, and just we'll bring you guys a great show. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we're
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
out
let's do it.
energized.
Let's go.
Hey, we're good. We're going.
We
I
got
know
no
Booner, Jack. He
competition.
always Jack.
I'm always ready to go. You tell me, Booner, get go. I'm going. I see. Real quick, KG.
Yeah.
Someone put in here said Kenny Galladay.
Kenny Galladay.
Not
Oh,
Kenny
no.
Galladay.
Nah, I'm not a one-season wonder. Don't do that to me.
Yeah, don't disrespect
This is
KG
a first
like
round
that.
pick over here, man. Don't do
Hey,
that.
yo.
The real KG. That's who he is. He's the real KG.
Come here, Gibbs.
Nick, what were you about to say?
No, I love it. I mean, hell yeah, I love that energy. Hey, are you kidding me? Let's get it.
Great.
Hey,
Let's
I
go.
appreciate the love, man.
Great insight there, Nick. Hey, we appreciate you guys all tuning in. As you guys come in, hit that like button for us. We've got a packed show. A lot of Detroit Lions stuff that we're going to go over here around the NFL, power rankings, a lot of different things going on here today.
Overreaction Tuesday.
Overreaction Tuesday. I put it in the notes here. I put Monday. I'm a little off on that.
Well, we normally do it Monday,
But
but
yesterday was such a packed. Yesterday there was no way we could have done Overreaction Monday. It was so packed. There was zero chance. 8:15. We're going to talk about this offense. Question I had. There's a couple questions I had for each segment here. First one: can this Lions offense carry into the playoffs? What they did versus Denver. 8:30. The biggest. This is a negative Booner question I brought up. The biggest weakness on this team, and can this Detroit Lions team still win in the playoffs with whatever weakness this is? I have one that I think people aren't going to think of, so I think I have a kind of a special one here. 8:45, we're going to talk about the 2
depressed.
seed. 9 o'clock overreaction Tuesday, not Monday. Around the NFL, 9:15 power rankings. 9:30, we're going to take some callers. We tried to yesterday. We had Freddie call in. We didn't really have much callers, so if you guys want to talk about the Detroit Lions,
Call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
whatever that means, yes.
Still don't know, do you?
I don't. 9:40, we're going to talk about the national power rankings and then some mailbags. So we've got a packed show. How are we feeling today, brother?
I'm feeling great. John Morant returns. Were you guys talking there's no Detroit sports going on tonight?
Nothing.
None. So we got the Memphis Grizzlies on versus, who are they playing? Somebody. New Orleans Pelicans.
You know
I'm
what?
a big Ja fan. I know all the stuff that happened last year there's some questionable behavior, but I'm a huge John Morant fan. I love watching him play.
Typically, I'm excited. Like in the past, when the Pistons are good, I'm like, yes, Pistons are on tonight. I'll watch every single game. I'll lock in. Like I'm a big Pistons guy, a big basketball guy in general. I'm more happier right now when the Pistons aren't playing than when they play.
Count that baby in a
And hey, whoa, hey, Pistons fans
nice.
right now are out for heads, so don't cancel me for saying that. But
I love the Pistons.
yeah, no, there's Pistons. I love the Pistons too. There's fans out there going for heads right now.
Yeah.
Going at Chris Cassidy.
Ruthless.
Ruthless, man. I think it's just like, and I get
Scapegoat.
the comment that was made, and
Let's talk
Chris
about it.
Castellani, I'm a good friend of mine. I do know Chris. He's a great person.
I love his
he's done
content.
he's done a great job. He has grinded from everywhere. There's a lot of people who are putting comments out there that are just kind of ridiculous just because Pistons have lost 24 straight. Let's take it out on someone else. The comment he made was like, and he would probably tell, like, it's his own opinion, yes. As someone who does know him a little bit, I don't agree with it whatsoever.
Was it a comment about moving the team? Like,
Moving the team, like he wouldn't care if they moved the team. The Pistons it's a historic franchise at the end of the day. Like it's a franchise, it has 3 championships. The Bad Boys era, the going to work Pistons. I know it hasn't been great recently, but they have been a huge piece, not only of just the city of Detroit, but the NBA in general. So that's why I don't agree with the comment. I do think the Pistons losing 24 straight games, it's like that gave people something to talk about and really go at him, which, like, I get the comment, you can go at him, but, like, some stuff was, like, getting very personal on the airwaves.
Yeah. He's a good dude, though. I know he's known for his Tigers coverage, but he knows Michigan football. Seems like a good dude. I've heard from multiple people, not just you. He's a good guy. So lay off him. How about that?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what. I don't know every sport here. Like he might not be a Pistons guy. I don't know every sport here, though.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
I really don't. Nick?
Yeah, I've watched a lot of his post-game videos. I think he does a great job. But when you basically have the whole Detroit community and you are representing that for Barstool, you're going to take heat when you tell them to sell the team. Or not sell the team. I get everybody wants Tom Gores to sell the team. But to move the team out of the city, just that you cannot say that when you are representing a whole entire fan base.
Yeah.
I believe that's why everybody got upset about it.
Good point.
The comment was, I'm not a fan of it, but besides that.
I heard it from someone else before and, like, didn't really put much thought into it. But when you do think about, like, moving, that's not just selling, like, that's taking the Detroit Pistons into another, not just selling the team and getting a new owner and still keeping the Pistons in Detroit. It is kind of wild, but they're not going anywhere.
No, they're not.
Let's just be real here.
I did see this thing here, and I want to go here real quick. I didn't put the graphic in here. I forgot to, but I sent it to you on Twitter, Broder. I didn't know if you saw this, but the Detroit Lions right now. This is per Front Office Sports. The Detroit Lions average attendance percentage in 2021, it was 79.9%, 31st in the NFL, and it has moved up. 2023, 100.9%, sixth in the NFL within 2 years. How about that?
Wow.
How about that?
That's Dan Campbell. That's Brad Holmes. That's this 2 years. That's when this all started. When Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford traded places. That's when it all began. And you can see the support. This wouldn't have raised like this if the Lions didn't make any serious changes. Not just with the entire organization, but actually being now a competitive franchise, chasing a playoff berth. Like
yes.
that has everything to do with it, and it's really exciting. I know there's been a lot of talk today about ticket prices going up and all of that, but hey, the Lions are good, and let's celebrate that.
I don't think the ticket price is going up. Like that situation, I don't think it's like I don't know. I'm not like a huge thing to where I'm going to worry about that, because at the end of the day, prices are going to go up just because of the teams getting better. Nick, you're a season ticket holder. I don't think that you're you're going to keep buying the tickets. I think what happened is it all averaged out. Are you not? Are you moving on?
No, I am, but I just gave my name out your mother. No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
I just think like it's averaged out to the league. It
It's
was
with the Bloods.
The season ticket holder. It was one of the lowest in the NFL at the time.
So I did hear that. I also heard that we're up there with the Cowboys now, which just seems absolutely ridiculous.
Where are they at in the standings right now?
I don't know what exactly it comes out to be, but I know mine personally, what I can speak on, mine went from $55 per game to $88 per game. So that's a significant increase. I mean, 55 was cheap this year, no doubt about it, for an NFL football game. I'm in the 300s. I'm row 2 in the 300s. So that's a $33 increase when your ticket price was $55. I will continue buying them because
more than 50%.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a lot of money, and especially when you are buying these super high quality seats, you are going up thousands of dollars worth of money. And these are guys that have had these seats for 20 years. You know, they put their life into it. This is when you might start to see people getting pushed out by corporate. Entities.
I don't think.
Serious. I mean, there's no doubt about it that some people will not be able to afford the insane ticket price the way they hired it.
Yeah, but like 50 to 80 to me isn't like a jump to where I'm going away. Like,
you're
going from one of the worst teams in the league for 30 years to now you have one of the better franchise. Like this turnaround the last 3 years, you've completely changed your franchise. So like you're making that jump, and you've asked, like you have wanted your franchise to be at that position for 30, 40 years. Like, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, we're there. With the way that we are now, the demand of the team, what's going on, it's like we have to do this. We can't keep the prices the same. Like, this is what the prices are at in 2023 for a team that's this good. Like, we have to do this. This is part of the NFL. So I get there's people that might get pushed out or maybe can't. Maybe there's people they'll be able to work with the monthly payments. When I did the monthly payments for the Pistons games, but I just don't. I can't see like it being a big deal in my opinion. Like, I just think it's, hey, your team, your franchise just got better. That's what we've been wanting for years and years and years and years. This is just part of it. Welcome to being great. And I get the Dallas thing, but you're just as good as Dallas now, in my eyes.
I think it was just the size of which it did increase. Everybody expected the increase, no doubt about it. And then to drop it before we win a playoff game, before we win the division, you know, it was just the timing of everything. I think
when
some
did they,
people had
last
had a
year, when did that
problem.
drop? Was it around the same time?
I'm not quite sure, honestly, so I can't speak to it. But I'm saying just right now, it's before we have actually, you know, seen this team win a playoff game and everything. So that's how they do it. The Pistons, they did it before we fell to number 5 in the draft. That's how they get you to do it.
And
it's
I canceled.
a smart
I knew what
business
was
move,
happening.
and we will be renewing our season tickets, no doubt about it.
I will say this real quick. It could be a win for you. We're gonna get into this whole 2-seat thing. It might end up being a win for you because what happens if they go win a Super Bowl? The season tickets would have been way higher than they are right now. Then that increase happens.
This is a perfect time where the demand, the supply and demand conversation comes into it, because now the Lions are good enough where you expect them to be, you know, a high seed in the playoffs. You expect them to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But we don't know exactly how good they are. We don't know what they're going to do this offseason. All the offseason hype isn't there, but this is where they get that demand of people not wanting to miss out on what could be. It's a psychological thing. You're just getting people. It's hype. It's all this momentum. They're using that as they should, as any business. And should or shouldn't.
That's
a
what it
totally
is.
different story. But as a business, for getting what product they're putting out, if they have an opportunity, if this is the time to strike, this is their best chance to make money and set the team up for the future, or whatever the case may be. It does suck and I've seen some fans in the chats and on social media. It's those ones that I feel for, the ones that have been that are older than me. They've been buying jerseys and memorabilia and stuff for years, waiting for their team to be good, and now they're there. And a large percentage of those people can't buy season tickets or can't afford to go to the playoff games. But
I do feel for
life.
that, but that's what the
life.
playoff tickets, like, they were going to be that price. And I'm sure it's the same price in every NFL.
Yeah.
Like this, hey, this is it. Like, welcome to being a part of being great.
Yeah.
And that just comes with it, and hopefully maybe they can come up with something to help some of those people out, especially if they've been there. I'm sure they have too. Like, if you're like a 30-year member, it's like they're not just going to say, "Oh, we can't do this anymore." Like, I'm sure they'll figure something out.
Yeah, we'll see.
Breaking news though too. I want to bring this up as well today. The Detroit Lions, they cut kicker Riley Patterson, and they activated quarterback from Tennessee, Hendon Hooker, fellas.
I want it.
The hooker has appeared.
You're an Allen Park guy.
Yeah, not
What's
today.
the
Today they were
feeling?
laid off, but this is the fact that he was activated and not kept on the reserve, the injured list is. I don't know if it tells you a ton, but at least there's use for him this season. Like, they're going to use him in practice, whether it's scout team and just being that scout team quarterback, where then David Blau is the emergency quarterback on the game day roster, or you flip it and Hendon Hooker is that emergency game day quarterback. We really don't know. I'm 99% sure that he's not going to. He might be that emergency quarterback, but I don't know if they're going to risk that because they have no intention of playing him. But
you know what it does though. And this is what I kind of like.
What?
There's the scenario where at some point when that 21-day window came up, you have to bring him in, or you have to cut him, right? Now you're keeping him in practice, you're giving him reps and all of that. Like, you're getting him activated within this team, and now he's going to get more reps. He's going to be involved more. Game day situations, he's going to be involved a lot more. Kind of seeing how that things go. You're going to be able to see his game. Like, you're going to be able to start seeing what Hendon Hooker's about a little bit more. Kenji, I do want to ask you that, like, opinion on Hendon Hooker. Are you? I mean, you had this conversation at the watch party a little bit.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what he can do. Of course, he's not going to play this year, but preseason next year is going to get real interesting. And you got to think, Goff's going into the last year of his contract. They may or may not work out an extension before the season. You would think that they would, but if they don't, and Goff goes out there and he has some underperformances, you got to expect those fans are going to get crazy for Hendon Hooker, man. Because it's just we talked about it on Heavyweights a little bit. he's a game manager with game-changing ability.
Yep.
The deep ball,
I like that.
beautiful. His ability to get out the pocket is something that we really need in today's NFL, and it's good to have a quarterback that has that skill set. So it's a wait and see process. We don't know if he's the guy, but this is also a guy who was a Heisman candidate. So yeah, just really looking forward to seeing what he can bring this team in the future.
And I like the way he said it, because I had this conversation today with some people about that, and I've been the heaviest have portrayed me sometimes here and there about the Jared Goff slappy, and if you guys have been around me and if you guys listen to these shows, I'm far from the Jared Goff slappy. And if you go back and watch my shows from a year ago on podcasts and stuff, far from a Jared Goff slappy. I was one of the first people to say last year before the draft that the Brad Holmes, he is at the point now to where they have built a team up, and he needs to start drafting quarterbacks to be able to kind of, like, look at the 49ers. They kept drafting QBs, drafting. You need to, like, once you get to a certain point in the NFL, you have to start looking for your franchise guy. If Jared Goff, he's not a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Like, maybe statistically, yeah, he does, but he's not a Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. Like, I get Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert. You're always looking for those guys in the NFL when you're trying to build a legit franchise. Hendon Hooker, that was the first step of, like, hey, let's start drafting QBs and seeing what can happen. To me, Hendon Hooker's that guy. Like, and I said this today, and the conversation I had today with a few people around here was, I would not be mad if the Lions moved down from JG in the next year or so, because that shows me that Brad Holmes knows Hendon Hooker's that dude. Yeah. Now, if he ends up re-signing Jared Goff for a year or two, I trust them as well too, because then they know, hey, maybe Hendon isn't ready, and maybe he hasn't been showing out like we thought he would. And that's what people really do have to understand. It's like, this isn't Hendon, one, isn't a guaranteed thing, but two, he could be a hell of a lot better than Jared Goff because of his skill set. Yeah. And we don't know that yet.
One thing we do know is Brad Holmes is a shrewd businessman. So
he knows what he's doing.
He's not a businessman, he's a business man.
Stop it.
Yes.
All right, let's go to break. When we do come back, we're going to talk about this offense actually flip sides of or stay on the same side of the ball with Ben Johnson. Real quick, I'm going to tell you guys, Woodward and Maine, they did go this morning. Make sure you guys check them out. They will be going this Sunday, I believe, 8 to 9 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Correct. 8 to 9 a.m. this Sunday, Christmas Eve. That is Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Detroit legend Terry Foster. Make sure you guys check that out Sunday, 8 a.m.
Yes,
Nick,
sir.
will you tell us about Big Boy?
You know you are going to Big Boy. Wintertime in Detroit is always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. Try the veal parmesan or the new Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl. How about breakfast? The stuffed potato pancakes are back. The classic lumberjack or Santa Fe garden. Also, new apple pie hotcakes that are too good to miss. Top it all off with a new gingerbread shake for dessert. Stop by our local Big Boy today and Broder.
Yes. Let me tell you about Jack Labrador, because drafting, it's a complicated business in professional sports. Do you choose Eric Ebron over Aaron Donald? Darko over Dwayne Wade? Stanley Johnson over Devin Booker? Let me help you out.
How about that? Jack
Labrador should be your #1 overall stocking stuffer pick this year. 1 deck, 3 games, fun for the whole family for less than $20. You'll love your Jack Labrador pick more than you love Sam Laporta and Jahmyr Gibbs. I disagree. Draft like Brad Holmes. Draft at jacklabrador.com or scan the QR code above.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness!
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
All right, let's talk about it. It is Outdoor Equipment Company, the official equipment provider of Woodward Sports Network. Michigan-grown, family-owned, bad boy mowers, tractors, steel handhelds, and even weed whippers. They have Liberty trailers, Generac generators, Snow X-Plows, and Salters. Outdoor Equipment Company, they have it all. You can buy it. You can rent it. 0% financing, delivery right to your doorstep. Make sure that right above me right there to go check it out, OutdoorEquipCo.com.
Young Money.
All right, welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network. Young Money.
Does that not sound like the beginning of a Lil Wayne song?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Shout out Lil Wayne, man. I was listening to him today a little bit. All right, appreciate you guys all tuning in here to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. Myself, Booner, Matt Broder, KG in the TD booth, and Nick over there in the sound booth as always. Full crew today. We got a full crew. This is the new crew going forward right now. Kenji's got a new home here.
Yeah, man. I'm happy to be the resident TD over here, man, and let's make some magic happen.
Let's go.
Magic. I love it.
Let's go. Hey, while you guys are all in here, hit that like button for us. Just helps push the show a little bit. We are the newest show here at Woodward Sports, so it helps out a little bit. Get us out there, get our name out there, and help us grow. Especially you guys in the chat. You guys are part of the show as well. Let's talk about the Broder. Detroit Lions offense. I want to do a deep dive into it because we talked about the game yesterday, talked about how the offense performed, all of that. Yes, it was all nice. Only thing to me that's been a problem with this offense and team as a whole is really how inconsistent they've kind of been, and they haven't put any consistency together. It feels like, and I want to see, like, personally, heading into the playoffs, I want to see this offense go 4 straight games, 30+ points, and dominate every team. Will it happen? Probably not, but I think
it could happen if the offensive line is helped. Like, it really, they ride or die with that offensive line. And it's not a negative on any of the other weapons or in Jared Goff. It's if that offensive line's healthy, they can compete. That offense, we're starting with the offense, right? The offense can go toe-to-toe with any team in the NFL. Where we start bringing the full team and you know, going up against the 49ers offense with that's a different story. But and yes, the 49ers are probably the most dangerous defense. Still, they're the most complete team. But this offense, they can score 40 on any given night. They can average 30. I forget what their season average is. Is it over 30? It's got to be over 30, right? They can play with anybody. They're so balanced and they're so multidimensional. It's very hard to game plan against. It's hard to understand what the Lions' game plan is going to be. We thought all along in this Denver Broncos game, the Lions were going to be pounding the rock. It was going to be a David Montgomery 25 rushes. It was going to be that kind of game.
Yeah.
What did they do? They came out and they started chucking the ball around to J-Mo, to Amon St. Brown, Laporta. Ben Johnson, he's a smart man. He's a smart man and he has weapons. If that offensive line provides Jared Goff time, provides those running backs running lanes, lets them get into that play action, they're a very hard offense to
I want to throw this out there too because I think this is actually a good conversation to have. Shout out Jeff. Jeff's in the chat. I'm afraid for the Morning Woodward Show. Appreciate you, Jeff.
Jeffy.
He said, "What if the Lions offense produced 2 1,000-yard rushers and 2 1,000-yard receivers? That would actually be insane.
That could happen.
It could happen, and it's insane that it could happen. And 2 of those guys as well, out of those 4 players that could do that, are rookies. And with that too, something I wrote down here in my notes is I feel like when you get into the playoffs, and the biggest question here with the playoffs, right? What's today's NFL all about? Offense, right? Like, you always have a great quarterback. It's who can put the most points up. Yeah, defense is there. But the stat that I always give out is in the Super Bowl, the last 6-7 Super Bowl winners, their defenses have all been outside the top 10. So when I look at, hey, can you make a playoff run and go make a push to go win the Super Bowl? To me, it all starts on offense. Mm-hmm. And I think this Detroit Lions team, if you go head to head with any team in the playoffs, I think this offense, you could say, you could argue is the best, if one of the best, if not the best.
Yeah.
And if you're just looking at the NFC, like the Lions right now, yes, the quarterback spot, they probably don't win, but they have a quarterback that knows how to win and has experience, right? Mm-hmm. They have the best running back duel in the NFL. Mm-hmm. They have the best offensive line in the NFL when healthy. Mm-hmm. And they have some of the best, they have a top 5 wide receiver, mm-hmm. and they have a top, what do you guys want to say? A top 2 right now, top 3 tight end in the NFL?
Yeah.
This could be one of the, if not the best, one of the best offenses in the NFL in the playoffs this postseason. And with that alone, in my opinion, that can take you far in the playoffs. If you have an offense and go out there and put 35-plus points every single week, no matter what, and hang 35 on a team, that's tough for a team to beat.
Yeah.
That's tough. And I truly, like, when you're looking at the playoff runs and these next 3 games, we're going to get into it in a couple segments about getting this 2 seed and kind of what that looks like for the Lions. But when you're trying to go on those runs and actually get something going, how bad was that stretch of football for those 4 or 5, those 6-game stretch? And tough. Guess what? They went 4-2. And that's because that offense, they always find a way to score points. It has, like, they always do. Even if Jared Goff has turnovers, at some point they flip the switch, and they, like that Bears game, and then they just go score 2 touchdowns, win the game. Like, this offense is, and I don't think people realize how good this offense is.
I don't think so either. And one of the added dimensions or added elements that makes this offense dangerous, especially come playoff time, is their ability to control the ball.
Yes.
That means that they leave their defense off the field as long as possible. Not because they're a weak defense, but you want your defense, even if they're number 1 ranked in the playoffs, coming in, rested, ready to go. You want your offense on the field as much as possible. Then your defense can come out and make the big plays in big moments because they're the rested side. You get the opposing defense tired from pounding the rock with David Montgomery or Jahmyr Gibbs, or even just, this is a value to Jared Goff, his ability to manage the game and hit the receivers on these short routes and just continue to slowly chug down the field, move the chains slowly but surely. That value goes up in the playoffs because you need that. Whether you're playing indoors or outdoors, you just need to be able to control that ball, control the time of possession.
I want to give credit to Armani and Edwards. There's a lot of times I watch the show and I reference back to them sometimes in our show because Ryan does. He has, like, sometimes these takes where I'm like, when you first hear it, you're like, oh, whoa. And then when you think about it, it's like, oh, no, he's right.
Yeah.
And today he talked about Frank Ragnow, this offensive line, and he mentioned Frank Ragnow, maybe outside of Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I think a lot of people would be quick to say Panay. But if you think, like, if you look at the games Frank was down or the games that he came out and was injured, he might be the most valuable player on this football team.
Or the most important.
Most important.
But, however you want to phrase it.
And I spoke about this before he came back, before this game. It's like when you go watch these centers play, like I go back to that Jason Kelsey film that I watched where he explained everything he does and actually the importance of a center and kind of calling out different blocks and
it's almost like a catcher in baseball. Like,
yes.
You don't get all the credit or all the glory, but you're in the trenches or you're behind the batter. But you're as important as anyone for calling a game, for making sure that the pitcher or the quarterback behind you is prepared and makes the right reads.
People just credit the quarterback for making reads and calling audibles, which they do. The quarterback, tough position. But if you watch a football game and watch a center and kind of what they do and them calling out certain coverages and different things with linebackers, defensive line, different stunts, all these different things. When you have a center that's the second best, if not the best center in the NFL, that, and especially a veteran like that is a huge loss, especially when it comes to calling that stuff out, having that experience, being able to get the ball to Jared Goff. What happened when Graham was there? There was a fumble, and it was an extra turnover for, like, there's just so many different aspects of the game that people don't realize with Frank Ragnow. I think that's, to me, when you're looking, especially in the postseason as well, in these next 3 weeks, offensive line, the trenches is what wins it in these. And I know I said all.
It is.
That is what wins it. If your offensive line can protect Jared Goff, you can establish the run with those 2 running backs you have. You can give Jared Goff time to get the ball to a guy like Jamison Williams, who had the most targets he had because he had time in the pocket to be able to get him the ball and let him get into his route. That's, to me, it's like, it's night and day football, man.
Yes. And if you have a guy like Jonah Jackson out, having Frank Ragnow as your center to help out, to pick up the slack for whether it's Colby Sorsdale or Yodi or anyone filling in, that's a completely different ballgame too than Graham Glasgow, who's been great. Don't get me wrong. He's been one of the top rated, I think he's the number 8 rated guard in the league. Him having to slide over at center and then support a Colby Sorsdale coming in at right guard or left guard if Jonah Jackson's out. That's a huge difference. Frank Ragnow, Penei Sewell is the best offensive lineman on the team, maybe the best in the NFL. Frank Ragnow is the most important offensive lineman on this team.
I think we can all agree around the room that the most important thing with this offense is just staying healthy.
Yeah.
If this offensive line stays healthy,
it's literally the offensive line too.
It's going to be hard for a team to beat the Detroit Lions. Like, we saw them at their best on Saturday, and it was because the offensive line's healthy. If they stay healthy throughout the whole playoffs, they have a chance to win every single game just because of that. Nick, you had something?
Yeah, 100%. I think we forgot what this line looked like when they were 100% healthy, you know, and we've put in the draft capital to make sure that these guys are elite. We have 3 first-rounders on this line. We have 2 third-rounders on this line. So when you see them all gel together, it's the vision. When we drafted Penei Sewell to really anchor it, he is turning out to be just the best pick in the goddamn world. Penei Sewell is elite on that offensive line. Him and Ragnow anchoring it. Taylor Decker not getting enough credit. I wanted to see a big game from him. He did have a good game
Big
at
bounce
left
back,
tackle
big
as
bounce
well.
back.
Definitely. He hasn't had his best stretch, but Taylor Decker, he's an important piece, especially coming from the blind side. And he was one of those. He had the best offseason. He just went through a little stretch here.
I saw a couple comments in here too. Eduardo O'Neill said, can we give Ragnow more money? Ragnow, give him more money. I'm just going to say this. I don't think Ragnow is going to get any more money in his career because he will retire at the end of this contract.
Which is, I think we still have until 2025.
2026 is his last year.
So we got him
so you have years, but I just
3
can't
more
see
years.
that he's been going
Yeah, he's got
through
2
it.
injuries.
Yeah, like that toe. He's a toe, right?
Excuse me?
He's the one with the toe.
Didn't his toe get like cut off or something?
Yeah, like he can't, like it's irreparable. Like
they all have toes.
It's irreparable.
yeah, he broke it, and or something happened to it, and they can't. They're like, we can't do any more surgery on your toe, dude.
Yeah.
Somebody said draft another Ragnow. It was Jay Cruz in 71. Ragnows are very unlikely to be drafted again.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a pick.
Trying to find your next Ragnow. I'm totally down. We need a couple guards, a center there. I was actually hoping they would do that this last year, but they went Colby, who was a tackle. They're moving to guard. I'm happy with that, but I still think keep adding.
We're not going to get into draft talk for a little while because the lines are good, but I'm going to say this now. First round, go get yourself an offensive lineman. That's your bread and butter. That is the number 1 piece on your team. Get a first round offensive lineman. After that, you better go defense the rest of the draft. I don't even care about receivers, weapons. We can add people. That's where I'm at with it. All right, let's hit break. When we come back from break, we're going to get into the Booner question of the day. We haven't done this in a while. Usually when I bring a Lions question, I've got something for you. Broder, tell us about Mark White, though.
I'll tell you about Mark White, because if you're dreaming of buying a new home but you're feeling the financial pinch, Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White and Associates today, 248-290-8242, or visit them at markwhitesells.com.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles. Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Just in time for football. Cannabis is dropping a new ice water bubble hash infused pre-roll called Honolulu Blue. It smells so good, it's like the whiff of the first playoff win in 31 years. It's a gassy, aggressive strain named in the honor of Detroit football. If you haven't had one of these ice water pre-rolls, you are missing out. So smooth. Find them at Dispo Dispensary for 25% off, or check them out online at www.canna.com.
We're back.
We are back. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate all of you guys tuning in here with us Tuesday night. Nothing going on today. No Detroit sports really. I think Michigan basketball might be going. Nothing really going on tonight.
Just Woodward Nights.
Woodward Nights, baby. Make sure you guys hit that like button as you guys come in as well. If you guys can share the stream with a friend, tell someone about the show. Help the boys grow.
Yeah.
Help the fellas out a little bit.
Yeah.
How about it?
Tell them we got KG in the booth.
KG.
You know.
You mother effing right. Let's go.
Yeah, the real KG too.
The real one.
I want to get him a number 5 Pistons jersey and put KG on the back.
Hey, I'm with it.
I like that.
Hey, let's get it.
Like a retro one.
By the way, not to take us away too. Do you see that? I think it was Nolan Bianchi tweeted out. There was a picture of some Red Wings jerseys that they were selling at the games, and the lettering and the numberings were all off, like on the jersey. Like they were. It was a Fanatics jersey. Maybe I'll try to grab a screenshot of it for later or tomorrow. But it was bizarre to see the Wings doing something like that.
Like they were shipping it in from somewhere they shouldn't have.
Or no, it was in the.
I see it. I'm looking at it right now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So the letters and everything. There's like the red stripe at the bottom, and the numbers are supposed to be above it.
Yeah.
And they're all like it's just all off.
I think it says they were selling them at LCA.
Yeah, it says Eiserman jersey too at
Very
LCA.
weird.
Yeah, can't sell that. What are we doing there?
Weird.
All right, let's get into it. Detroit Lions here. We're going to keep this ball rolling here. Massive week for the Lions and weekend for the Lions. But I have a question here. I get called the Lion Slappy. I'm the Lion Slappy, which I don't know how I've gotten that name. I'm just the normal Booner that I like to be honest with everyone.
You know what?
But I've got a question for the people.
Don't ever change.
You guys want to know?
Please.
I'll never change, fellas.
Good.
But you guys, I text Broder today. I said, hey, I got a question for everyone because people always saying I talk about the good things about the Lions. I want to talk about the bad things right now. I want to go around the room with this a little bit as well. I want to know the one weakness that we all think the Detroit Lions have right now that will hold them back in the playoffs. And I'm going to start us off here just so I can get this one off my chest here. And I think there's an obvious one. And I think we're going to say it might be it might be on one side of the ball. I'm going to go on the defense as well, and it's not going to be the obvious one. I'm going to go the cornerback room.
Okay.
I think that's going to kill the Detroit Lions in the playoffs. If you break it down, and I know we have Cam Sutton, Jerry Jacobs, Kendall Vildor, Khalil Dor. You have guys there, and then that back half of the guys are guys that just started playing. By the way, like Jerry's been struggling, and those guys have stepped in. Cam's been decent, but we've seen him in like some games struggle a little bit here and there. This is no disrespect to the corner room as well. Like shout out to Cam's been on the network. All
it's
that.
fine. No, yeah.
This is going to be the piece outside of maybe the one, and I went away from that one because I think you might have that. Just look at the NFC, though, and the weapons that the NFC has right now. With the Eagles, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. If you have your second guy, a Jerry Jacobs on Devontae Smith, scares me a little bit. That scares me. That, to me, might be a 150-yard and 2 touchdown or a 1 touchdown Devontae Smith game. You go over to the 49ers, Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. That scares me. And on top of that, you maybe Brian Branch can help over. Maybe they have George Kittle. And then over in Philly, they have Dallas Goedert. So, like, these teams have weapons. They have Christian McCaffrey in the backfield, DeAndre Swift. Then you go over to the Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Michael Gallup, Jake Ferguson, Tony Pollard. Like, these weapons scare me in the way, like, yes, and I want to. The defensive line has been an issue. We know that. But if you want to break it down, the secondary and stuff, CJ Gardner-Johnson is going to be back. So the safety room, I have a little bit more faith in. Yeah. Especially, I know Tracy got benched, but I still feel like if you had to play him, he can produce and kind of help you. But the corners, it's like there's a struggle because Emmanuel Mosley, when he went out, he was supposed to be your number 1/2 guy with Cam Sutton, and now you have Jerry Jacobs, who's a number 3, and a great number 3, by the way, too. He's great when he doesn't have to be that guy.
That secondary room is a lot different different with him as the number 3, as the number 2. It's a lot better, which gives me a little more hope. Although these guys that are stepping into that number 2 role, even if it's just temporarily, we don't know if they can withstand it.
I want to, and everyone in here, listen, you guys are all putting the pass rush. The only reason I didn't do that, we communicated before the show.
That's what I'm going to
let you guys go over. That's the reason why I just went first real quick, so then Broder can kind of take the main one here, which is the elephant in the room, I think.
Right? It is, and it's the pass rush, because if their pass rush was better, it would hide any of these deficiencies in the secondary. When they got pressure on Russell Wilson, with whoever it was, this game, it was Bugs, it was Iffy, it was Kaminsky, Bruce Irvin. As long as they get pressure, that helps out Cam Sutton on the number 1 so much. That helps out Kendall Vildor or Dorsey or Jerry Jacobs at that number 2. It makes all the difference in the world. I worry about that defensive line. I'm not as, especially with the Lee McNeil coming back, not as worried about the rush defense, but it's that pass rush. They got to find a way, because of that cornerback room, got to find a way to make it difficult on the quarterback, not leave those guys out on islands for 5, 6, 7 seconds.
Versus Jalen Hurts, you're going to get killed.
Yeah.
That's just at the end of the, like Jalen Hurts. Brock Purdy, maybe he is mobile, but he's not like a Jalen Hurts. Dak, since his injury, hasn't been as mobile, but he can get out of the pocket and move. Some of these guys, but like a Jalen Hurts, scares me. If you somehow get to the Super Bowl 2 and go up against the Lamar, scary. Like those are the guys that, like, the super mobile dudes that will rush for 80, 90 yards on you. That is like, you have that, and then the pet, like,
and that goes
you put
into
pressure on them, and then they get out of the pocket, and it's over. And like, you're not doing anything.
This might be a little bit of a stretch, but that's why getting home field is also important, because it makes it that much harder on the opposing offense. Even just communicating pre-snap reads. I'm not going to say that Lamar Jackson or I guess Lamar would never be playing in Detroit, but your Daks, your Purdys, I'm not going to say they can't communicate pre-snap with a loud Ford Field crowd, but it makes it harder. That's also why Dallas is so good at home, because that's what their fans are like to the opposing team. So that's where I'm at. I do have one more, but I want to, if you want to spend it around the room, I don't want to take one of the boys.
Was there anything that you guys had that pops out that you're like, this is going to kill the Detroit Lions in the postseason?
I think we hit on it just a second ago when we were giving him such high praise, and it's Frank Ragnow and that toe. If things go south in the playoffs, it's because Frank Ragnow is not be able to sustain that injury, and he goes down. And when he goes down, this O-line, this offensive line crumbles, and specifically when other teams get pressure up the middle on Jared Goff, he's going down. We all know that is his number 1 weakness as a quarterback, is he is not mobile. You have guys like Kinlaw, Hargrave on the 49ers. You have guys like Jalen Carter, Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis on the Eagles. You have guys that can dial it up on the Cowboys, that can bring pressure up the middle. That is my number 1 biggest fear in the playoffs, to see this team not reach its potential.
I didn't even
and
think
it's
of that.
Frank Ragnow and his toe.
And a great description. And you're right. Coming to you in 2 seconds, KG.
You good.
Jared Goff, he's not mobile. He's better than people think at moving up in the pocket and feeling the defense around him. If there's pressure up the middle, he's toast. So I'm with you 100%.
He can't get out of the pocket.
Yeah,
if
it's coming around, he can move up and still make a throw.
Pocket,
but if it's coming at him, he can't move out. Great point.
It's the giraffe, the baby giraffe.
Yeah,
as Lucas says. KG, what's your main one?
I'm gonna go a little bit broader. I'm gonna say the third quarter offense, man.
Ooh.
That is a big one, because I mean they did a little bit better against the Broncos this last week, but that has been a problem all season long. Coming out of halftime, this team, especially on offense, just can't seem to get anything going, and that's going to cost you big time in the playoffs. It's almost like you should almost go on offense first to start the game, because that's our strongest unit. But coming out of the half, it's very crucial that you put points on the board, or if we have a big lead, you got to keep the foot on the other team's neck. So that's something that's concerning me, man. I'm not worried about the offense as a whole, but in the third quarter, man, when the game starts to get tighter, we just absolutely have to put more points on the board.
I like that. I remember watching the stream with KG. And something coming out of the third quarter, I think it was him and Spenny both were like, let's see how this third quarter goes, because this is going to tell a lot. Because I think it was 21-0, and you remember the Saints game. They came back in the third quarter, and things started to get really interesting. And I like that one, too, because what do we talk about all the time when we do on Fridays? We do our kind of what is it? Keys to victory. We do the keys to victory. One of the things that we say is, hey, when you're coming out of the half, you have to win that. If you get the ball first, or if you defer, you have to get a stop. You have to score, take the lead, and then coming out of the half, you have to capitalize. And that the Lions, it felt like the last 6 weeks, they have not done it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the stat is for that, but it feels like every time coming out of the halftime, that's when you think, too, a team would come out and dominate.
Exactly.
You would think, but they've been so bad. I don't know if that's coaching. I don't know what that is, just being...
It's something they're aware of. They're trying to figure out. They haven't figured it out yet. They did improve a little bit in the Denver Broncos game, mostly because they answered with the touchdown. But when you look, Denver started with the ball. They went on a 4-minute, 26-minute drive, scored a touchdown. Detroit did answer back with a touchdown of their own, but then Denver answered back with a field goal. So that's 10 of their 17 points right there coming out of the third. They got to clean that up. I'll say my last point too, and although they just cut one of the guys, I still worry about their kicking game. Money Badger, Michael Badgley. I don't know what kind of faith we should have in him yet.
It was like a good and a bad thing that he didn't have to kick the ball at all, really.
Yeah.
But it was like bad because I wanted to see what he did. Obviously, at practice, he's been elite though. For the fact that they just cut Riley Patterson like that after what? 13 weeks of playing.
Saying that being elite in practice as a kicker beating
it
Riley
doesn't
Patterson.
do much, but like at the end of the day, it's like the fact that you beat Riley Patterson out in week 13, someone who's had that job, it shows a little bit that maybe
they have more confidence in Michael Badgley right now. He's got to be able to. They got to have someone who can hit between 40 and 50 yards, like consistently. We couldn't throw Riley Patterson out there consistently past 40 yards.
Yeah,
and then he was missing some extra points. So,
all right, let's go to break.
Tell you about Feldman Chevrolet. Unless you got the other one first, KG.
I'll hit.
Yeah.
All right, go Guardian.
I'll hit Guardian Alarm. Customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions that are specific to your needs. That is 24/7 professional monitoring. Give them a call anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian Alarm team member, they will stay on the phone as long as needed. Technology that is backed by people, where your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. That number right there for a great defense, give it a call. That is 1-800-STAY-OUT.
1-800-COME to Feldman Chevrolet if you want a new car. Because since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a world-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. They got 18 locations, so there must be a dealership in your backyard somewhere or close to your home. Just visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest you, and catch Woodward Sports there every other Monday at Feldman Chevrolet of Novi. Check them out, Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest hotels, restaurants, and casinos with prime beef, dry-aged beef, and Wagyu beef. You can experience the fairway difference for yourself today. Just visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks or order online at fairwaypacking.com.
.com. All right, we're back. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate all of you guys here tuning in. If you guys can hit that like button for us, let's get up to 75 here before the second part of the hour, second hour of the show, that is.
Thanks for all the love in the chat, by the way.
Yeah, shout out the chat, man. Shout out KG, first day.
Yeah.
First day with the squad.
Come on.
Down, baby. Let's get it.
Let's go. This is a big topic here because last night Drew Lock, I don't know if I'm sure everyone in here saw it, everyone in the chat. Drew Lock went out there and beat the Eagles.
Man.
Let's go.
And it was a beautiful thing, man. And you know what I love too at the end? I don't know if you guys saw his post-game interview, or not even just the interview, but I don't know if you guys remember when he was at Mizzo, he used to do that dance, like, or every time
steez.
he put the backpack on.
Yeah.
A guy like that who's been a backup and who was like backups in the NFL, they're usually great in college and they transition, and it's just tough for like guys like that. Like they're not used to not playing.
Yeah.
And him to get this chance to go out there and play at that high level. If you just watch his post-game interview, watch him celebrate with Geno Smith after the touchdown. First of all, outside of the Lions situation, incredible moment. Like I think just in football, like seeing stuff like that, being in sports, growing up, like.
And it says a lot about Geno Smith
Great.
too. Like
Shout out Geno for
that
that,
organization,
too.
Pete Carroll, like
Yes.
whatever they keep doing to just, not rinse and repeat, but it's a whole new era in Seattle again. And I know they're not the dominant team this year, but they just rejuvenate. They re-energize their entire organization again.
Yep.
And they just never really went away.
With that though, last night.
Yes.
I put out the tweet 2 days ago or about a day ago saying that a lot of people, all they wanted was, the Eagles do win and clinch a playoff spot, blah, blah, blah. And I told the people yesterday, listen, there's a 99.999% chance the Detroit Lions clinch a playoff spot either way. Yesterday, what you needed to have a chance at the 2 seed was the Eagles to lose. That was the last game you had a chance for an Eagles loss. And what happened last night? Eagles lose. Now the Detroit Lions are in the prime spot to go out and get the 2 seed. It's not like, hey, we need this to happen, this to happen, this to happen. Everything right now runs through Detroit. Everything runs through Detroit. They control their own destiny. If the Detroit Lions win their next 3 games, they clinch the 2 seed by themselves. They beat the Vikings. They go on the road. Tough playoff environment team in Dallas, and you beat Dallas, and then you beat the Vikings at home. You are now the 2 seed, and you have a chance to host 2 playoff games. Now, I've been up here a lot, fellas, and I've talked about the Booner Path a lot. That's the Booner Path. When I created the Booner Path, it was how can the Detroit Lions, it was when the trade deadline happened and things looked down, the Lions started losing, and everyone's like, we're going to get the 3 seed. Maybe we'll win a playoff game, but after that, you're going to have to go play San Fran or Philly or Dallas on the road, and the season's over.
Let me talk to you.
The Booner Path came straight up from, just like the Undertaker. I don't know if we have that drop, and I don't care if we're not allowed. I don't know if we're allowed to play it.
You can do whatever you want, Booner.
But the Undertaker, the Detroit Lions have came out of the grave, and they resurrected the Booner Path. All they have to do now to get that 2 seed is win out.
Yes, sir.
And I sat up here weeks and weeks and weeks ago and said, if the Detroit Lions, there it is, beautiful thing. We're not putting it to. We're not. R.I.P.
This is different.
It's coming out of the grave. The thing I said a couple weeks back, though, was if the Detroit Lions somehow get a 1 or a 2 seed, you will see this team playing in the NFC Championship game. I cannot see this team losing 2 games at home.
Eduardo O'Neill says,
Cannot
Booner.
see it.
Booner, let it talk dirty to us. Booner, keep going.
Oh.
Yeah.
I want it.
Thank you, Chris.
It's true, though. I mean,
it's back, man.
It is back. They have the ability to control their own destiny. I mean, not all the way to the 1 seed. They need some things to happen to still get that 1 seed, but it's still a possibility. But to go get that 2 seed, this is what. Remember we were having the conversation a couple weeks ago. People were deciding, would you rather have the 1 seed or the 2 seed? And it was outrageous. Now the 2 seed's right in front of you, and that is, other than that 1 seed, the most desirable spot. This allows you're guaranteed 2 home games. And that's everything for this Detroit Lions team for a multitude of reasons, whether it's Jared Goff, whether it's the crowd noise, whatever the case may be. Having a home playoff game, having 2 would be massive.
I said this on the heavyweights when I was doing the sound there a little bit. They mentioned to me an great question too. He's like, can you actually envision this team going to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
And in the path that I looked at, it's like, okay, if you get the 2 seed, let's just break it down super easy here. If you get the 2 seed, you get 2 home games, right? On the other side, what's going to happen to get to the conference championship is the 49ers are going to either have to play the Eagles or the Cowboys. If you somehow win those 2 games, whether you bring in Ford Field the Eagles or the Cowboys, and you win that to go to the NFC Championship game, there's a 40-50% chance, better than there would be if you're the 3 seed, to where the Eagles or the Cowboys can knock off the 49ers to go to the championship game. When that happens, you host. You automatically host. And I know the 49ers are the best team in football, so it's not like, oh, that'll happen. But there's a chance that happens because they're playing. Like, there's the top 4 teams in the NFC right now who can all beat each other, in my opinion. The 49ers obviously are, like, up here. But I think when it comes to the playoffs, you can beat anyone. 49ers, Cowboys, Eagles, and Lions.
The key is if those 2 beat the 49ers, then you get that 3rd home field game.
Yes.
And at the very
chances
of that
worst. Happening are low, but like that's the hey, when you ask me, hey, can you envision the Lions in the Super Bowl? If that happened, which is very clear, if you went out and you get that seed, that's not like a crazy scenario.
No.
It's nothing like you'd be like, oh, Booner, you're nuts.
No,
that's
although
legit.
you could say what I'm about to say, you could say the same thing about the Lions in their 2nd round game. Whoever the 49ers play in that 2nd round, whoever that 2nd round game is, that's a tough physical playoff game no matter where it's played. Who knows what that team feels like or looks like coming out of that game. I don't want anybody to get injured, but it happens in the playoffs. Teams get banged up. They get tired. So having that, you never know what could happen. Is basically the point. And I can envision it. And I'm not, this isn't a shot at anyone who can. I get both sides of it. I can envision it because of that offensive line, because of everything we talked about in that 2nd segment. That offense can play with anybody. We have some concerns on the defensive end. There's some concerns, but that you could ride that offense for a playoff run. You could get to the Super Bowl for sure, and then it's anybody's ball game.
And I want to say this as well, being the head of the Booner Path and kind of the main person for the people and the voice of the people.
For the people, by the
people. Can we just all agree? Detroit Lions aren't getting the 1 seed.
It's very unlikely.
There's no
chance. It's unlikely,
chance.
but it's possible.
It is possible.
The 49ers have to lose 2 or 3 though.
They play the Ravens.
What the fake KG say? What the fake KG say?
No,
anything is possible.
Oh, the fake KG. The real KG's in the building.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not you. Yeah. The other one.
They play the Ravens and the Matthew Stafford Rams might need a win to get in. So I'm not saying it's impossible, Booner. Just like the path, there is a slight path. To get the job done.
That's fair.
Yeah. It's a fun conversation, though.
2 weeks ago, I probably never thought that there was a chance they get the 2 seed. And now we're talking about it to where the Lions control their own destiny to get the 2 seed. So things change quick. Things do change quick. I do want to ask you fellas all around the room this question. Do you guys actually think the Detroit Lions can go 3-0?
100%. I know we had this conversation before the Cowboys lost to the Bills. Everyone was all high on the Cowboys, and it was before the Lions turned the ship around, before this 4-game stretch. 100% they can go into Dallas and win. KG, what do you think?
Well, we know they can do it because when they play like they did against the Broncos, they can beat any team in the league. I've said that on time and time again. The problem is, Dallas, they got to be able to withstand that Dallas offense, man, defensively. And that's a big key that I'm worried about is this defense going forward. Obviously, for the reasons that we mentioned earlier, but it's very possible that they finish strong 3-0 and go and hide into the playoffs.
We have seen, too, after every Lions loss, besides obviously the Packers won, but after every Lions loss, lose to the Seahawks 4 straight. Lose to the Ravens 3 straight. And then the Packers one is obviously the one-off. But if you don't lose that, you don't lose that Bears game, that's another 3 straight. Like you won 2 of them, your next 3 after that loss. I think this is a situation to where I think they beat the Vikings this week, clinched the division, historic day in Detroit on Christmas Eve. And then I think the Cowboys game, I think they can win that football game. I truly do. And I think that might be one of the first Cowboys losses at home in 16 straight games. Yeah. And I think it's like, what did we say last week? It was like the Lions might catch them at a good time to where they're down a little bit. They're coming off a loss. Who knows what they do this week? And then the Lions can catch them slipping. And then all you have to do in week 18 is just
I'm more worried about
Vikings again.
I'm more worried about going 4 in a row than 3. And I say that with the hypothetical scenario that the Vikings are that 4th. They're probably the team, honestly, that scares me the least. But if you have to play them 3 times in 4 weeks, they all of a sudden scare me the most. It's so tough. Hard. It's so hard to beat the same team 3 times in a season, more or less 3 times in a month. Tough. It's crazy. That's what makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Maybe they should just lose week 18 and then they could go on a little run.
2 seed.
I know.
Even with Nick Mullins, though, you're concerned.
No, I'm just concerned about beating any team 3 times in a month. And it's
a lot of game film.
You never know what you're going to get out of Justin Jefferson in that offense. I'm not really intimidated by their offense, but I'd be worried about Brian Flores in that defense.
Real quick, Nick, I'll get you here. Just think about this, though. Is a lot of times because playing teams 3 times it's tough because like you have all these game plans, and when you have to game plan, like when you're making a game plan, you have usually one for a specific team. When you have to do it 3 times in a 4-week span, it's hard to probably change that up. I do want to bring up the point. Ben Johnson, his bag is so deep. His playbook, he's mentioned multiple times that he has plays he hasn't even came close to touching yet for each guy. Now it's on the other side of the ball to me. AG, what can AG do versus the Vikings versus Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison?
And we talk about this Cowboys game that's coming up because it's always about the top 2 teams in the NFC. It really comes down to that game if we want to get to that 2 seed, potentially the 1 seed even. They travel to Miami, so they could drop 2 in a row leading up to that game. 3 in a row is really hard to lose, but if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be the Cowboys choking. So, Booner, if the Cowboys lose to the Dolphins, do you actually think they can lose 3 straight?
Yes.
The third being to the Lions.
That's when you really catch them as well. I think yes, for sure. That means they're struggling, and then they lose 3 straight. You would want to see that team in the playoffs too, because that's a team that's defeated.
Let's go.
Real quick, someone in the chat. I don't want to lose it here.
Do you say that?
Eduardo O'Neill. He did mention here, and this is actually a very fair point. We keep talking about this Lions matchup versus the Vikings. If the Lions win out and they beat the Vikings twice, the Vikings, say they beat the Packers in between that, they would be 8-10, and they most likely wouldn't get a wild card game.
Both the Vikings and the Packers would probably be out at that point.
Yeah, because if they're 7-7 right now. If you beat them twice, that's automatically 9 losses. An 8-9 team.
Yeah.
I don't know if an 8-9 team's getting in.
These are all hypothetical scenarios. We're talking 3 in a row, 4 in a row.
And we would want them to at that point.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. All right, let's hit break. Yeah. When we come back, 9 o'clock, what do we have next? Overreaction Monday. We have some Lions overreactions and some NFL overreactions we're going to go over here. We'll go around the room as well. Planet Fitness, though, let me tell you guys about it. It is the home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. Over at Planet Fitness, they have tons of equipment, full-body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. Get all of that for just $10 a month, no commitment. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. More than 50 in the Metro Detroit area and thousands throughout the world. Go check it out. Go get a lift in over at Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
When it comes to your pet, don't settle. Give your pet the best. That means going to Premier Pet Supply because they are hands down Michigan's best pet store. Family owned and operated for over 30 years. They got 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 brands of food, the lowest prices, and curbside home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best at www.premierpetsupply.com.
All right, welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate you guys tuning in here. Tuesday night, beautiful Tuesday, Victory Tuesday for us, for Lions fans, baby.
Victory!
Victory, baby. Lions, baby. Hit that like button for us if you guys haven't already. My ear just started. I did the Lions, baby. Ear started ringing. I did it to myself.
Like
Lions fan.
in a good way?
It's just ringing right now. I can't hear anything out of my ear.
Oh.
I made myself go deaf with the Lions, baby.
It might be all that blue Kool-Aid you pouring on yourself.
That's what it is. And I start I start choking and stuff.
Stuck in the ear.
The Kool-Aid, baby. Hey, the Kool-Aid is good. I've been thinking and brainstorming the things I can do for when they win the first division in 30 years. I haven't decided yet. I think I might. I don't know if I should give it. I'll talk to you guys after the show. I don't want to give it away to the people. And I'm taking all ideas. If you guys want,
you're the man of the people, though.
Shotgun a long drink.
Yeah, well, no, it's got to be blue Kool-Aid. If you guys have any ideas, DM me on Twitter at Booner Sports.
You about to dive in a pool of that shit, man.
I might have. That might be a Super Bowl one.
Yeah. Yeah.
We might get some kiddie pools out here in the snow, and I might have to.
It's genius, actually.
That might be the Super Bowl one. If you guys have any ideas, though, DM me Twitter at Booner Sports. Send me some ideas. I'll consider all of them, but it could be this Sunday, so I need them quick. All right, let's get into it. Overreaction Tuesday, not Monday, Tuesday.
Broder Tuesday, yes.
Told you to bring a couple Detroit Lions ones and bring a couple NFL ones.
Got two Lions. I got one NFL.
Me too.
Boom.
We'll do that, and then we'll see if the fellas have any. Who's your first Detroit Lions one?
My first Detroit Lions one. I have to give Jalen a shout out. We were talking about this yesterday, and I told him I'd use it. Okay, just take a little breather here. Sam Laporta is Brad Holmes' best draft pick as the Detroit Lions general manager. Think about it. What? Think about all his draft picks. I'm not saying this is what I believe.
Best overall player?
So far, yeah.
You guys are missing one.
Yeah, there's a fourth rounder in there.
There's a first rounder.
There's a first rounder.
Top 7 pick.
Oh, yeah. Penei, yeah.
Penei Sewell is the best.
You got Penei, you got Amon-Ra.
Yeah.
Some people might think Hutch.
Many good ones,
Jameer.
So much to choose from.
He's good, dude. He's been a. That's. Branch off topic with that. We're going to talk about
Dion branch off topic.
Branch off topic.
Brian branch off topic.
Getting nice. Brad Holmes another draft with this current Lions team. This team's going to be very scary next year.
Imagine if
he drafted four starters.
And we won't go down this path on this segment, but hypothetically, he could also have the franchise quarterback in that draft too.
That'd be wild.
He could. It's a possibility.
No, I think Penei is the best player he's drafted. I think maybe it fell into his hands. It was like, we need to go Penei. I think that was everyone's pick. He's the best player at his position in the NFL. It's hard to go away from that. Laporta still has a couple guys ahead of him.
Can we clarify that this is best draft pick, not best drafted player? Or what?
I think it's the best player that, overall.
You know what?
The best overall player?
That is how I phrased it, but let's flip it. Because I see what you're doing there. Best draft pick. You're right. Penei Sewell's the best player. Yeah.
Yeah, value-wise.
So Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Value-wise, Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's top 5 in the league right now.
Got to be Amon-Ra.
The 4th round. That's who does that?
So nice that we could talk about this for literally all show, though, if we wanted to.
Seriously,
a great topic.
A top 10 receiver drafted in the 4th round.
I think we could do a Brad Holmes topic every day, and we would not get tired of it.
No. What's up with you?
First one I have here. This is it's out there. I've already said it out a couple times. I think I've said it on our streams a few times. I truly believe this, though, and I don't know if it's an overreaction. You fellas can tell me. I think right now in the NFL, Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 running back. Skill set, the way he plays, his explosiveness, everything he can bring to the table. If you look at his let me see, from this game right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, his last 8-game stretch, I think in that 8-game stretch, you can argue he's a top 5 running back.
Just running back, not rookie, running back.
Running back. From what he's done in the last 8 games, in that stretch. Is that crazy for me to say? Top 5.
And is this currently injured running backs? Like, is Nick Chubb on this list? Like
playing right now, like currently in the NFL, that's not like Nick Chubb is not playing, so I wouldn't put him in there.
I think the key is name 5 running backs better than Jahmyr Gibbs right now.
Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, and this is where it gets tricky.
Oh man,
you could throw in.
I don't know if I'm even putting Alvin above him.
Me neither. I don't know if I am.
And I love Alvin Kamara.
I'm not going to put Eckler, but I don't know if I want to do that right now.
I saw in one of the earlier chats there was a Breece Hall. I'm not putting him in there yet. A K9, Kenneth Walker.
He might be up there.
I think he could be on the way.
He might be top 5. I don't know if he's better than Gibbs, but he's top 5.
Yeah, Rashad White. He's on his way, but I don't think he's there yet.
Yeah.
I'm putting him in the top 5.
Yeah, I like that one a lot, Booner. And he leads the league in yards per carry.
That's true.
He does. And I'm doing some quick math here.
Do it. Would you guys put? It's definitely by far his best year of his career, but Raheem Mostert with Miami. I think he's got 18 or 19 tutties.
He's been legit.
He's been a dog. I think it's like, God, that offense is so explosive. It's similar to the Lions, where it's like, you got to think about the offenses that they play in, but he's definitely up there for me as well.
Yeah, if we're going this season, you got to kind of put Mostert in that conversation.
The quick math I did here, in the last 8 games, Jahmyr Gibbs, in just 8 games, 845 yards, 8 touchdowns in 8 games.
He's not even a starting back.
Yes, he's a guy that's getting, D-Mont gets 20 touches a game. He's getting 15, if not less. I think last game, he had like 14 touches.
Yeah.
And he's putting those numbers up. Like, if you just watch his plays, it's like every time he touches the ball, he's going for 5+ yards. And it's even like, there's no like negative. It's anytime you give him the ball, he's going to make a play and make something out of that play. And that's where I go, like, he's one of the best in the league right now at what he does. And it's hard for me to put guys above him right now.
It's pretty good. Shift God James Cook could be at Gibbs.
James Cook, last game.
I like what he's doing.
Over the year, but last game, James Cook, right now, I'm fighting for a fantasy championship.
That's not him normally,
my guy.
Buffalo struggles in the run game. Normally.
Since they've got, what's his name, Joe Brady.
Yeah.
Shane Daniel, James Conner, maybe? When he's healthy, he's good.
Not better than
I'm putting
Gibbs.
what about this? I'm putting Montgomery in the top 10. D-Mont.
Potentially.
He's having a breakout year, but
we'll have to think more about that.
He's got the best offensive line he's ever had. So
true.
He is, and that's what Jamal Williams benefited from.
Most yards per carry of his career.
All right, I have a second one. Do you have a second one?
Yeah.
Second one I have.
Send it.
Defensive side of the ball, and this is including playoffs as well. Right now, I think currently Aiden Hutchinson sits at 6.5 sacks. Mm-hmm. I think this next 3-game stretch you're going to see him get a couple, and then in the playoffs, when in the playoffs, that's when dudes perform. Stars perform in the playoffs, and when things come down to it, I think Aiden Hutchinson is going to end up getting at least 3.5 more sacks throughout this season, including the playoffs, and it ends the year with 10+ sacks.
So including the playoffs?
Including the playoffs.
Whether that's 1 game or 4 games?
Yes. If it's 1 game, I think he has 2, maybe 2 in the next 3 games, and I think he gets 1 or 2 in the playoffs.
Tough.
Am I crazy for that?
Not an overreaction.
Overreaction?
I think so. And let me just, my biggest problem with Aiden is, like, yes, he gets double and triple team. Yes, he gets chipped. We all know that. That's stating the obvious. But I'm just not seeing enough in the one-on-one category. His pass rush moves have not developed from year 1 to year 2 to me. And that's something he could be doing a lot better in. Now, I do also think it's partly AG scheming him up better. We did see him play in the inside a little bit more during that Denver game, but I think that's kind of a reach. He may get close to that. I think he gets another 2 sacks to close out the year. Who knows what he'll do in the playoffs. Hopefully he breaks out. It's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I just need to see more from him currently this year.
I think that's fair too.
Yeah.
Because we had the conversation last week. We did the segment in regards to Hutch and kind of the year he's been, and that was Flannel came into our chat like, so Booner's a Hutch hater now. I'm like, dude, at some point he just needs to get like I brought all those plays up to where he was like standing in front of Justin Fields and like he could have just given him a hug and taken him down and he lets him by, and it's like at some point, dude, you got to get home.
Definitely. How about this? and this is a conversation that's been going on for a little bit now. Lions fans should be most worried about a matchup with the Rams first round.
Overreaction.
They should not be the most worried.
Everyone, and KG gave me the look. I'm sure Nick's going to be the same way. Everyone's scared to play the Rams. I want the Rams. I want the Rams.
No, you don't.
I want the Rams.
No, you
I want
don't.
I want
Stop
the
it.
Rams.
You seriously, you just want to put an end to this whole
I just want to end it. Yes.
Goff debacle. You want to just put an end to it.
Why are we acting scared from this team?
But god damn it, the amount of attention and publicity that's going to go into that matchup about this heartbreak Hollywood ending crazy story. You know, it's a fairy tale. Goff wins or Stafford just rips out these fans' hearts. I do not want to see that.
The Rams give up more yards per game than the Detroit Lions, give up more passing yards per game than the Detroit Lions, more rushing yards per game than the Detroit Lions. Not really worried. I think if you have this Lions offense, I think they're going to, and I get it, everyone, Aaron Donald. What were people saying before this season about this defense? There's a bunch of no-name rookies and a bunch of year one, year two guys. I think that's still something that we're over. I think the Stafford thing, the Puka, the Cooper Kupp thing, the Kyrie Williams thing, I think that's overlooking it. But I think if you get in a shootout with the Rams, Lions win that by double digits.
That kind of concerns me, though, because we are a young team on defense, especially. And then you got an experienced, playoff-hardened Matthew Stafford coming back to Ford Field with those weapons. And then another underlying thing is that Sean McVay is Jared Goff's former coach. So if anybody knows Jared Goff's weaknesses, it's Sean McVay. So I'm just saying it's a tricky matchup. I'm not saying they can't win.
I forgot about that.
If any team can win, but if any team can beat that Rams team, it's definitely this Lions team. But I don't know. It's tricky, man. I'm not totally against it, but I got to see it first.
You guys just saw me realize that in real time.
KG is cooking over there.
KG just said
he is. But at the same time, what if, and this is just plain devil's advocate, Sean McVay didn't know what he had in Jared Goff. Like, he didn't know him as well as we know him now. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was the one who moved on from
Ben
Goff.
Johnson. I want to throw this out there too real quick.
Throw it out
Look
there.
at the schedule they had. Every team above 500 they've played. 49ers lost, Bengals lost, Eagles lost, Cowboys lost, Packers lost, Ravens lost. They've beaten the Commanders, the Browns with the backup quarterback, the Cardinals. They beat the Seahawks twice, but the Seahawks, we know what they're like now. The Cardinals again and the Colts. So those are their wins aren't like
what gives me hope
special.
Is their offensive line is pretty weak. Stafford needs time, and if we've shown
our defensive line is not great.
But that's why they're the weakest offensive line, I believe, in the group of possible playoff contenders. So if our defensive line, we just talked about, the defensive line gets pressures, that makes it so much easier for those cornerbacks, for those guys out in the secondary. So if there's anything to sort of outweigh, they got Puka, Kupp, and Tutu Atwell. It's that the Lions have the best shot maybe of any team to get pressure on Stafford.
That's fair.
And he throws INTs.
And
we know that.
They also won at Seattle and then lost a close one in overtime to Baltimore Ravens, where the Lions of all people got absolutely smacked. No, they lost in overtime.
Oh, sorry. I want to make sure my stats are right that they lost. Thanks for that, Nick. All right, let's hit a break. When we come back, Broder and I, we have our power rankings, weekly power rankings. A lot of you guys, I was tuned into the Morning Woodward Show. KG, were you TD in the Morning Woodward Show?
Yeah, I was.
Kind of disrespectful where they all had the Eagles. Am I wrong? Or were you on?
I mean, on paper you would think the Eagles,
3 straight losses.
I get it. But Pete Carroll ain't losing to them. So
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. All right, let's go to break here. When we come back, we're gonna show you guys our NFL power rankings real quick. Lions pregame show. Make sure you guys check it out. That will be this Sunday. I believe 9:30 to 11:30. It will be Jeff on the desk, and it'll be me on the desk, I believe, for the game on Christmas Eve. So make sure you guys check that out. Do not miss it. That is 9:30 to 11:30 on the Woodward Sports YouTube. And then head over to Hamlin Pub. It is one of the best pub and bar in the state of Michigan. If you ever wanted a bar where you are a regular, this is the place to be. They have 7 locations all around Michigan here, and it is a place where everyone can be a regular. Half off pizza on Thursdays or game day specials available during all Michigan sports and NFL games. Hamlin Pub, it is the place to be. Make sure you visit a location today and visit and experience your new favorite things for all things sports.
Reading.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm over here. I'm just pumped about this Lions playoff thing, man.
If you guys are looking for last-minute stocking stuff for Jack Labrador is where you got to go. Drafting, it's a complicated business in professional sports. Do you choose Eric Ebron over Aaron Donald? Oh, boy. Darko over D-Wade, Chris Bosh, Mello, Stanley Johnson over Booker. Let me help you out. Jack Labrador should be your number 1 overall stocking stuffer pick this year. 1 deck, 3 games, fun for the whole family, less than $20. You'll love your Jack Labrador pick more than you love Sam Laporta and Jahmyr Gibbs. Draft like Brad Holmes. Draft at jacklabrador.com now or scan the QR code above.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
At work and at home. We're there with smarter security solutions, featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Do you have football on the brain? Well, fall ushers in college and professional football, and this fall is already awesome. It's already over, too. So fall and winter is the time to shop for your home and auto insurance. Shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward Sports Network, and they should be covering you, too. So ask for Mark at SwissINS.com or call 248-800-4177.
Swiss, baby.
Swiss.
All right, welcome back. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate you guys tuning in here with us Tuesday night. Not much going on, but you guys are here with us, so we appreciate it. Hit that like button. We're at 84 here. Before the end of this segment, let's get over 100.
Please.
Let's get into this. NFL Power Rankings. We've done these every single week.
Provocative.
I enjoy doing the Power Rankings because I adjusted a lot compared to last week, depending on losses and stuff. So you guys see mine here on the board, and I'll break this down here for you guys real quick.
Look at that.
I'm going to break this down here. A lot of people probably, Booner, you have the Lions at number 3. You are a slappy. No, I'm just a little realistic here. Cowboys lost. Eagles lost 3 straight. If you guys look at the Bengals right now are on a 3-game win streak. I'll start from 10 and go up to 1. They're on a 3-game win streak right now. They beat the Vikings 27-24. I had to move them in the top 10. They were just out last week. Browns, even with backup quarterbacks, the Browns are finding a way to win games. I don't care who they're playing. They're finding a way, and they're sitting there at 9-5.
Joe Flacco.
The vet. When you have a vet in there, man.
Off the couch.
Yes. And that when you have that defense and a veteran quarterback, you can win some football games. And they have 9 wins already, 1 win away from double digits. Number 8. This is a big one, fellas.
Brr.
My Buffalo Bills, man. Okay. They made their way back in, and they dominated the Cowboys. The Cowboys, I have them at number 5. They dominated the Cowboys, so I had to put them in there. Number 7, the Chiefs. What did I have the Chiefs last week? I had them at 7 last week. So I kept them the same. I know they beat the Patriots. I just didn't.
Exactly the reason to keep them the same. They beat the Patriots.
Yeah, I didn't know where to put them, to be honest. Number 6, this is the big drop. This is a team last week. I actually had this team at number 4 last week. A lot of people this week had them at number 3. I had them at 4 last week after 2 straight losses. Another loss, I dropped them down below. You have to put them in my opinion at least, right now you have to put them under these 10-4 teams. The Dolphins, Cowboys, Lions. Just because you lose 3 straight games, I get it's tough teams. But when you lose 3 straight games, like when the 49ers did earlier this year, I guarantee you everyone had them down in 6-7 range. So you have to respect kind of the game here. At number 5, the Dolphins beat the Jets 30-0.
It's the Jets.
The Jets are the Jets, yeah. Even with the defense, like I took the over on that game, needed 5 more points, and they couldn't give it to me. So the Dolphins, they're at 5 just because of that. Number 4, Cowboys lost to the Bills 31-10. Yeah. I just dropped them. I had them at 2 last week. Should not have done that.
In my eyes.
Down at 5?
Yeah.
Over.
That was a bad loss.
Flip them with the Dolphins.
Yeah.
You're saying? Oh, I think that's fair actually. That's like I would be fine with
and
that.
The Dolphins.
Yeah, I think I would be fine with that. Number 3, the Lions. Lions just moved up to me. Some teams lost, some teams didn't look great. Lions moved up. They dominated like a 30-point or 20-point win. Moved them up. Ravens number 2, obviously dominant, and then obviously number 1, San Francisco 49ers.
Number 1.
The Niners, baby.
The Niners. Well, you guys, do you have any reactions to Booner's
Can you grade my list? Give me a grade here.
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, your reasoning behind it. You explained why it is the way it is. I have the Lions a little bit lower, and I have many of them I have just flipped 1 spot. So
to me, it's like how it falls. Like when a team loses, I can't keep them up. And yeah, you can go eye test, and I do when it gets really close like that. I'd go eye test. Like Cowboys, Dolphins. Like the Cowboys looked bad on Sunday. Like they did. Like to me, it was just like they did not look good. But the Dolphins got a win, and they still no Tyreek. They still got it done. So that was why.
Also, the reason I would drop them is Josh Allen he threw under 100 yards, and they still
like
lost
90
badly.
Yes. I was hoping Josh Allen this week they would win and he would throw for like 300 yards and get in the MVP race because I picked him as my MVP before the year. Didn't happen though.
Purdy?
Lamar creeping up.
Not Purdy. No, there should be someone else that's in the league.
We'll see.
There's a running back that should be.
Now you guys got to grade my list. There are a couple changes. KG, if you could throw that up, that would be appreciated. I'm gonna go 1 through 10 because we all know what the first 2 are. I got San Francisco at number 1. And I got Baltimore Ravens at number 2. Now, this is where mine gets a little different than yours.
Okay, let's see it.
We got the Miami Dolphins at number 3. Let me just make sure I sent this in to the Woodward Nights.
Yeah,
it should be in there.
I'm grabbing it.
Cool. So I have the Dolphins at 3, the Cowboys at 4. And I have that... Well, I'll get to the Lions next.
Cowboys at 4.
I have the Cowboys at 4. I think they've proven... They're so good at home, and I think they have a sample size this season where they've proven they're one of the better teams in the league. I put them and the Dolphins and the Lions and now the Eagles kind of in a similar category of they are all splitting hairs with how good they are. Why I put the Miami Dolphins there is the ceiling of their offense. Their defense is improving, and I really like that, but we've seen it. Again, it hasn't been against all the best teams. I still have concerns about the Dolphins, just as I do Cowboys, Lions, and Eagles, but when their offense is rolling, they are electric. Oh, yeah. They got to have Tyreek, though. They got to have their guys healthy. They're fun to watch, and I have the Dallas as number 4. It was hard putting them ahead of the Lions, but I have the Lions at number 5, which was up 1 spot from number 6 last week. I just don't think... I don't think. Where's my notes? So they beat the Broncos. The Cowboys lost to the Bills. I get why they could be moved down. I just happen to have them up there. I'm giving them maybe a little bit extra respect there at number 4. But then I got the Eagles at number 6. The Bills sneaking in. Actually, I had them at 8 last week, so I moved them into my top 10, moving them up 1 spot to 7. Then I got the Cleveland Browns. So. I had them at 7 last week, so this is actually moving them down.
The Browns?
Yes, but I think higher of them. I just think the Bills did enough against the Cowboys.
Bills are back.
Yeah, they're back, and I think they deserve to be ahead of the Browns. But I'm a Flacco fan. Actually, that was involved in my 3rd overreaction, my NFL one, if we get to it later or tomorrow. I have them at number 8. I got the Chiefs at number 9. I don't trust them right now. I trust Patrick Mahomes. I don't want to see them sneak into that number 1 seed, which is still a possibility somehow.
This is the one for me. That's a little low for the Chiefs.
I can appreciate that.
You want to know a stat that I heard about the Chiefs? I think it's the Ravens. Who did the Ravens play this week? Is it
San Fran?
So if the Ravens lose this week, the new favorite to get the 1 seed in the AFC with like a 39% chance, it's like the highest percentage, will be the Kansas City Chiefs. Wow. Because all they have to do is win out, and I believe they have an easier schedule.
Relatively easy schedule.
So if the Ravens lose on this week versus the 49ers, which is very possible, Chiefs, they always find a way to get to 1 seed.
You know the NFL script wants Patty Mills as the top seed.
So. He's never played a road playoff game in his whole career. Because he's always had the 1 seed.
So I think what I did, thinking about this now, I had the Kansas City Chiefs at number 9 last week. I think I just kept them there. They beat the Patriots, and I think I just didn't give that any positive or negative. It wasn't enough to move them down. Bills did enough to move ahead of them. Then I got the Bengals. You had the Bengals at 10, right? Cincinnati Bengal. I have one Bengal.
You have one Bengal.
I just had Jake Browning at number 10.
JB, baby.
Yeah, I do like Jake Browning.
He's been ball. They won 3 straight, man. I'm telling you. They won 3 straight with no Joe Burrow. That's different.
Some special. So there it is.
Broder, question for you. You do have the Cowboys ahead of the Lions here. So if they played neutral site, bring a little college game into it. Neutral site, Lions, Cowboys today.
Neutral dome?
Neutral. Yeah,
Since they're
neutral
both
dome.
home?
They both play in a dome. Who are you picking?
I'm picking the Lions.
Okay.
So you need to switch that.
Which doesn't make sense with that list, but
that's where I was at with it. Just like on a neutral site without home field, where would you go with
Well,
it?
actually, the list isn't just about and I picked the Lions, but it's not just about the head-to-head matchups. It's the body of work. It's wins and losses. So, but that was actually a good question that I got to think about maybe when I'm building this list.
Couple ball knowers in the chat here. Big Simmy says Booner's list is greater than Broder's list. Matt Verville said Boone wins. Those are just some ball knowers,
Look at
man,
that.
if I've ever seen them.
I was like, Lucas?
Man,
I would have to agree. I think Booner's list takes
ball
it here.
knowers. Let's go.
That's fine. Bruce
Your
Bedrock
list
said
ain't
too.
bad, Broder, but
he said you're my guy, but the Dolphins have yet to win on the road versus teams over 5.
Dolphins, they win.
Truth, that's right.
They have the pieces, but they have not won a big game yet.
They haven't.
And and it's the same thing a little bit with the Broncos. I'll say a little bit of a big game because Broncos won 6 of 7, but Lions, like that Dallas game, like you're gonna learn a lot from that team.
Yeah, that's the measuring stick game.
But is it safe to say that between the Dolphins, Cowboys, Lions, Eagles, they're all in? Are they all in that tier under San Francisco and Baltimore at the moment?
Yes.
Okay.
Right now, like if I had to pick a Super Bowl matchup right now, and like they're like, hey, if you don't pick the right one, you're gonna die. I would go 49ers Ravens. I would just be like, please just give me the 49ers or Ravens, please.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Yeah, they're all 10-4. The Cowboys are the only team that actually the Eagles lost. Hey, it's a fun conversation.
Nick, let's do this. Let's open up the phone lines here. I want to hear some people's thoughts on the Detroit Lions, the victory over the Denver Broncos. See if we get some callers.
Or if you want to call in and throw out some overreactions.
Yes.
How about that? You got something on your mind, or you want to make a big take, send that too. We'll continue overreaction.
It's 313-552-6322. Again, that is 313-552-6322. Hey, Kenji, can you pin that? I just threw it in the comment section.
Yeah, I got you.
Pin that so you guys will see that. Start calling in here during this commercial break, and then we're going to come back as well. I have a couple national media people we'll look at and see their thing. Oh.
I hear that.
I can hear the call there.
Dial in, baby. Let's go.
Ooh, boy.
I thought that was an actual caller for a second. I was like, oh.
No,
that's what role playing.
Tell us about Dispo.
I will. Shout out Jalen in the chat.
Broke.
Shout out Jalen in the chat. Gotta do that. But let me tell you about Dispo. You can experience the Dispo difference this Christmas season because Dispo is giving away a TV as well as 2 $100 in-store gift cards per week at participating locations for the month of December. Nobody does it like the Dispo family, so unwrap the joy every week. Join them in celebrating the holidays. See store for more details. Dispo Dispensary, DispoShops.com, your local cannabis plug.
How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
How would you like to win a 100K Vegas getaway? Take your friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Cintron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win at drinkcintron.com/Vegas. You can buy Cintron at your local Meijer store. It's Cintron, the healthier energy drink with great taste, so you can look good, feel great, and be the best version of yourself with Cintron. Enter now at drinkcintron.com/Vegas.
All right, welcome back into Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. Whatever you're watching on, appreciate you for tuning in. As always, make sure you hit subscribe. Follow Woodward, too, on all socials.
Yeah.
Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of those. It hits.
How about one more? How about on one of those, wherever you can, leave a review. And shout out maybe Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Yeah, tell them, hey, we love the boys, man.
Yeah, great show every night. I appreciate it.
Hit that like button as well for us. I don't know I think we might be over 100 now.
No, we're close, 94.
Let's get over 100 for the boys,
We're
man.
doing it. We're
Come
doing
on.
it.
We've got a lot of people watching right now. Let's hit over 100.
Got a cop right behind you.
I do, yeah. There's like someone just got pulled over like right behind me. I'm nervous. I don't know if there's like a shootout. I hope this glass is bulletproof.
Ain't no shootouts in Birmingham. I promise you that.
I got him.
I'm ready to get down. Real quick before do we have callers?
Yeah, we got two for you. Also, shout out the comment section after the show. Make sure you guys hammer the comment section in the YouTube comments.
Last night, it was
really appreciate
flying.
it. Shout out Tyler Chauvet. I saw
Yeah.
he had a great comment. Had to shout out Tyler real quick.
Shout out Tyler.
Basically, our chat's the best. We appreciate you.
Yeah,
Love you guys.
let's take this caller. Who do we have first?
Yes, sir. We're going to go to Eduardo in Orlando. Eduardo, you are live on Woodward Nights.
Eduardo, what's up, my man? How are we doing today?
I'm good. I hope you guys are doing good too. So listen,
twice here, water.
I don't necessarily have overreactions, but I want to say a couple little things. One, I am low key kind of tired of getting cooked by Justin Jefferson, DJ Moore, and whoever Green Bay has. We need to figure that out this offseason. You know what I mean? That's my overreaction, I guess. I'm tired of that.
Getting cooked. So you mean just like our secondary? Is that? I'm sorry. I just want to make sure, right? Like in the off season.
In the off season, we need to fix that. You know what I mean?
Yep, I agree.
And that's why I don't want to face the Rams. You know, they took it to Baltimore, and we couldn't do anything against Baltimore. That being said, though, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I might be on the Kool-Aid. With this O-line, and we got Frank, you know what I mean? I honestly think if we get the 2 seed, we're going to the title game. Philadelphia has to come to us. Dallas has to come to us. Forget about it.
Forget about it. We
can get into any shootout. I fully believe any type of shootout we get into with them. Remember, Philadelphia's defense is just as bad as ours. They have a pass rush, we will neutralize that. But their corners are not that good. And it'll be a track meet. And I totally think that, San Francisco, that's a whole different other thing. But definitely we can compete with Philadelphia and Dallas. And then I just want to say one thing. It's important to see what Dallas does against Miami this weekend.
Yeah.
But Miami has a lot of speed, and so do we. If they can't handle Miami's speed, we'll be in great shape for us in 2 weeks. And that's all I wanted to say.
Eduardo, we appreciate you calling in as always. I heard you on the morning show today. You call in here all the time. We appreciate you, a valued member of the chat. 2 things with Eduardo. First thing, I agree. I agree with both of the points made. The first one being they need to address kind of that secondary in the corners in the offseason. I think they really tried to this last offseason. Injuries killed them with CJ and Emmanuel Mosley.
So we know Brad is thinking that direction.
He knows because he tried to this offseason. I think he takes the approach to let's go get a guy. Like, let's not get an Emmanuel Mosley who was hurt, but let CJ re-sign him. Let's get someone else.
And remember when at number 5? also might have been his guy. I don't know if we want to go back to that.
Yes.
Now knowing we got, but Devon Witherspoon.
Devon Witherspoon was his guy.
Sorry to interrupt.
He's a dog as well, by the way. And then the second point there, Eduardo, I'm 100% with you. A couple weeks ago, or about a month ago, I came out and said, if the Detroit Lions get the 2 seed or the 1 seed, I'll guarantee you that they are in the NFC Championship game. You are not losing 2 home games, and you're able, if you can match up, if you get a round 2 Dallas Cowboys team, I think you can do that, and that's a great matchup in my opinion. Because basically that's why, like, if Philly ends up winning their division and you get the 2 seed, you probably are going to end up playing Dallas, I think, in the second round at home. Dallas on the road, we know what they're like. I think you can do that.
And I think he said, did he also say he gets the number 2 seed, he sees them get into that title game, right?
Yep.
It's if we assume San Francisco will be there in the NFC title game. So going to San Francisco isn't as intimidating as going to Philly in January. So
I agree.
I'm not saying like it's going to be an easy game, but if you wanted any away game, probably be in the underneath the palm trees.
Keitho said Cooper DeJean from Iowa. Bring that man home. Throw him in our secondary. All right. Again, real quick, call-in number is 313-552-6322. We'll take one more, and then we'll go to break. And then when we come back from break after this one, we'll keep taking calls. So make sure you guys call in. Number is in the chat. It's pinned at the top. Nick, who else do we have here?
Yes, sir. We are going to William in Grand Haven. William, you are live on air.
William Vanderswag.
William, what's up, man? Let's hear what you have to say today.
What's up? How you guys doing?
Doing great. How are you doing after this
I got
Lions
lots to say about. I'm feeling pretty good about that offense. Now, Jared Goff, he was absolutely surgical in that game. Now, he did have a couple like overthrows, which is fine. You know, he's human. He makes mistakes. It's not a big deal. But I will say this: if the Lions don't do any turnovers, which was their weakness in their losses, if they don't have any turnovers, they are a unstoppable team. Their defense can make stops when it's needed, and I mean, I think Aaron Glenn is he's going to have to make those adjustments every week, and I think he's going to do that against the Vikings. And if our pass rush overwhelms Nick Mullins this Sunday, I think he's going to overwhelm them, and the Lions are going to rack up some sacks, like much-needed sacks in this game. And I'm feeling really good about this win over the Broncos. Like, the Lions really showed up and showed out, and they gave us a show, guys. They were absolutely phenomenal that game.
Can you imagine Aiden Hutchinson going on a run right now? Like, we've been talking about it all season. What if this Minnesota game or a matchup with Micah Parsons against Dallas, what if that just sort of gets him into a rhythm? What do you think about that? But William, that was a really great point, man. We appreciate you calling.
Shout out William, man.
Thank you.
Legend as always.
I love that he called and talked about the defense, because like that, if they elevate their game, if they play like they did against Denver, this is a totally different Lions team.
Yeah, I think it comes down to the key word he used there. The key word I'll always keep going back to when it comes to defense and winning football games in the NFL is turnovers. That, like, as I've starting to like really learn and get into this business and being able to speak with someone like you and Alan Park all the time, Terry Foster, a big thing in the NFL, and Dan talks about it all the time, is creating turnovers and taking care of the ball. Like, it is that simple. It was like that when I coached basketball. It was, hey, if you go out there and you have 20 turnovers in a game and you have no steals, you're probably going to lose the game because they're getting that many more extra possessions. And when you're in a football game that is limited possessions, the more you can steal, the better, and typically you win those games, especially when you have a great offense. So I think...
What was the game-changing moment against the Broncos? It was that iffy strip sack, and then Bugs rumbling and tumbling and stumbling down the field. That was the game-changing play that really put the momentum in the Lions' favor. They took off after that.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the biggest thing. So, all right, we're going to keep taking calls here for the next segment, 313-552-6322. Make sure you guys call in. Tell us anything you want. And on our way out there, make sure you guys hit that like button. Let me tell you guys, though, real quick about Big Boy. It is wintertime in Detroit, and it is always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. Try the veal parmesan or the new Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl. And how about some breakfast? The stuffed potato pancakes. They are finally back. They have the classic lumberjack, the Santa Fe garden, and also they have the new apple pie hotcakes. Too good to miss. You do not want to. I had them the other day. Fantastic. Top it all off with the new gingerbread shake for dessert over at your local Big Boy.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand, you offer more products to more people. And that's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. They got the same great service that customers have come to know and trust. They're located on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile Road. Check out Les Stanford also in Dearborn today. That is their flagship location. You can find the brand you want at lesstanford.com.
All right, we are back. Welcome into Woodward Nights on the Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, whatever you're watching it on. We appreciate you tuning in. Hit that like button for us. We're at 105. Let's get to 125 here by the end of the show. We're going to take some more callers here. We'll take maybe one or two more callers. Number is 313-552-6322. Nick, who do we have here?
Yes,
sounds like we have a regular.
The man, the myth, the legend. It's Biggins in Traverse City. Biggins?
Biggins, what's up, my guy?
Good evening, boys. You know, I'm fully confident the Lions can go to the Super Bowl. And the key to the Lions hype train to the Super Bowl is that offensive line. With a starting offensive line of Taylor Decker, Jonah Jackson, Frank Ragnow, Graham Glasgow, and Penei Sewell, the Lions are 5-0 with a league-leading average of 38.4 points per game, 421.2 yards per game, 179.4 rushing yards per game, 5.5 yards per carry, and Jared Goff has a passer rating of 121.73 in those games. So if the offensive line can stay healthy and we can score 35 points a game, I feel like we can beat anybody.
Biggins?
The thing that scares me the most, though, is if we get into a standoff war in a kicking battle. The game against the Broncos, that the fumble return, it should have been an automatic field goal, but we don't have a kicker who can hit a 56-yard field goal. That's what scares me the most.
Yep.
If it's a tie game and it's 4th and long from the opponent's 39-yard line and we need a 56-yard field goal, are we kicking a field goal or are we going for it? Because it's
probably going for it.
A scary call right now.
Hey, Biggins, first off, we'll keep you on the line here because the stats you brought, I think a lot of us have talked about that. You're the first person I've heard that actually brought all of those stats. When the offensive line is fully healthy, all 5 of those guys, the Detroit Lions are 5-0, 38 points per game, and all those other stats. That's incredible because I don't think people realize enough how important this offensive line being healthy is. I know we talk about the health and how this team's built around them, but to know that they're 5-0 when those guys are all healthy, that's the key in the playoff. I'm with you on that. That is the exact key in this playoff matchup, or this run that you're gonna have to sit there. If those guys stay healthy, you can make a run at the Super Bowl, and I don't think it's crazy to say.
And I feel like the strength of our defense is our offensive line, because when we get the lead early and we make the opponent one-dimensional and we know they're going to pass, it makes our pass defense better. We're more prepared.
Spot on. We talked about it earlier in the show, but I phrased it a little different. Just from the time of possession, controlling the ball, that means your defense is off the field more. So when they are out on the field, they got all the energy, all the juice to go get the opposing offense. But you're so right. It changes the game when you can make that offense one-dimensional, like they did against Denver. They shut down Javonte Williams and Samaje Perine, and that meant Russ Wilson only had one thing to do. And with pressure, the quarterbacks played well. It all came together. That defense was huge. Biggins, phenomenal call.
Before Biggins goes, I want to give you this stamp of approval.
Games against 7 teams who are picking in the top 8 of the next draft. They played every team picking through 1 through 8 except the Bears. You know, they played the Panthers, they played the Patriots, they played the Commanders, they played all the worst teams. So they're pretenders, and I've said all season the Eagles are pretenders. They've played a lot of close games against bad teams. I believe the Eagles have the most wins by 4 points or less. Meanwhile, the Lions, we've beat a lot of teams who are around 500 and in playoff contention by double digits.
Yeah.
You know, that's a sign of domination.
I agree with you on that. They had that stretch where they beat 4 straight teams by 14 points or more. Biggins, appreciate it. We have to go to break. Appreciate you calling in again. Like I said, you're welcome anytime to call in and bring those stats.
From Traverse City.
From Traverse City. And he calls into the post-game show all the time as well. Very entertaining, very, very great ball knower, as we say. All right, let's hit break. When we come back, we're going to get mailbag. I don't think we have any other callers right now, so we'll head straight into mailbag, and we'll answer anything. KG's here. First day on the job here at Woodward Nights. You guys can ask him anything. We'll answer any questions about the Lions or personal stuff. Who knows? Let me tell you guys about the great Lady Jane's, though. Look at this new haircut here I got.
My new haircut.
That's a mullet. The mullet is in the making. Look at that. Booner mullets,
it's a baby
man.
mullet.
A baby mullet, but it's coming in. I'm telling you.
Business in the front, party in the back.
Party, yeah. That's my day job. This is Woodward Sports in the back. All right. Come to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience. Register to win a trip of your dreams, an all-expenses paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament. That is right. No expenses spared for you and 5 of your best buds. You can take the whole room with you here. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. They are open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It is wicked awesome.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White and Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Join Woodward Sports and Long Drink live every home game for the official Lions VIP tailgate. It happens at Eastern Market in shed number 5, and it's always a bash. Starts at 9:30 a.m., goes up until game time. We have a lot of fun. Come pregame with us, your friends at Woodward Sports. We got food, we got drinks, we got all the entertainment included. You just got to get your ticket at bullseyeeventgroup.com.
All right, welcome back. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. Appreciate you guys all tuning in here. Taking the time out of your night, 8 to 10 with us here. We're getting into mailbag. If you guys can as well, hit that like button. I don't know where we're at. Mine's not refreshing here.
I'll tell you in a minute.
106.
106?
Yeah.
Let's get to 125 here. Let's get 19 more likes here by the end of the show.
Baby, like the Lions.
Thank you for the triple digits.
Finish strong. Everyone right now, stop what you're doing. Hit that like button for us. First mailbag I want to ask here real quick because I actually did have something. I saw James Houston. But with that, and I don't think they're related at all. I saw someone tweet out and say something that they might have been. But it says, is James Houston going to play in a game against Minnesota? And is CD Deuce going to be in the game too? All right, first off, I'll answer that question. Both probably no. In my opinion,
maybe the second Minnesota game.
The second one, I think you see both of them.
Yeah.
Maybe Dallas, you see CD Deuce. We haven't heard anything on James Houston though, so that's where I don't think he's going to end up being until that last game.
Last we heard, Dan Campbell was
that's where I'm at.
It's going to be at the end of the season. Like, I doubt we see him in the regular season. It might be that Vikings game at the earliest, but it's more looking like a playoff return. And hopefully that first round.
When I said brothers here, Justin Houston, is that his brother? Because I saw someone tweet out and say we should bring him in so we have the Houston brothers, and I was like, I don't think they're brothers.
Maybe like Bash Brothers.
But I mean, he just got released. He has 112 sacks on his career. Nice. He's a guy literally. Last season, he had 9.5 sacks for the Ravens.
I'd take a peek.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Just take a look.
We had every veteran any damn way, every 36-year-old you can name. So.
Might as well break. How old is he?
I'd take him over Irving any day.
He was born in '89, so he's up there.
Like
he's 30s.
No, he's not up there. He's my age.
30s.
Yeah, it's old for
an NFL
outside linebacker.
It'd be nice to have a younger side of 30.
Yes,
on the team.
It would, and he's a vet. He's been in the league for a long time, and he's played on some good teams. He's played in Kansas City from 11 to 18. He's played in Indy, played in Baltimore with a great defense, and he's put numbers up all through his career. So to be honest, I mean, he had a 22 sack season.
He's
I think am I looking at that right?
No, you're right. He's been a legit player throughout his career.
Yeah.
This could be a maybe it's not a cap casualty, but the Panthers aren't going. They have no need for him. Maybe he's. I don't know how this all went down. I got to do some research on it, but we'll be talking about it tomorrow. I'm sure we're gonna hear a little bit more about this. Justin Houston. How about this? Big Simmy's mailbag. Does losing the defensive line coach from Hutch's first year into his second year with a new coach have an effect on his development, and that's why he hasn't been coming in like we all expected?
Who was that again?
I forget who it was last year, but they now have John Scott Jr.
Oh, it was. Oh my gosh!
Mule?
I had this conversation with Easy the other day. You're talking about the defensive line coach
from last year.
So yes, I that was and I want to do a topic on this because I did it. I put it in last week and we didn't get to it. I do think there's a little bit of a difference because if you do look at that offensive lineman or that defensive line coach, he was. Remember when the Jags a couple years ago, where their defensive line was like one of the best in the league? He was the defensive line coach there. Before that, he was in Seattle with the Legion of Boom, and he was the defensive line coach there. So he has been in big spots, and then he went to Carolina. Obviously, this year they've struggled, but
Todd Wash,
and it's not Walsh too, because I had the argument with Easy, and we found out it was Wash.
Or as my grandma used to say, Warsh.
That was something to where I did speak with you a couple weeks ago, and I said Dan Campbell has been known for letting a coach go midway season when we were going through that little stretch there. And if I was like, I had to pick a guy, the worst performing unit has been the defensive line compared to last year, and I think there was a little bit of a drop off because you expected guys to step up. So that was a guy. I do think maybe there is a little bit of a.
That was the goal. Remember, that was the question I asked Dan Campbell this offseason in one of his first press conferences was you put the least outside investment into that defensive line, so you got to be your plan is to develop them, right? And he said absolutely.
I can't tell if Big Simmies is trolling me or not, but he says yes, Booner. Please do a topic on the D-line coach.
I don't think he is.
Intrigued.
No, I don't think he is. Okay. I think he's serious, and I don't think this is on John Scott Jr. I don't think that. Well, it could be. I don't think it's a reason to move on from John Scott Jr. I don't know how everything works truly behind the scenes, but this is a guy who's responsible for Micah Parsons at Penn State. This was his defensive line coach. He knows what he's doing. It is his first year, so there could be some struggle, some learning curve for him. I don't know. That definitely could be it. I don't want to rule it out, but I don't think John Scott Jr. is the problem. I definitely don't see him be
reason for the drop off.
Right.
I don't think.
And I don't see him as one who they're going to give a short leash to. Yeah. He'll be back next year.
One thing you can say about him is his rush defense has been really good. Like the rush defense this year has been great.
Elite.
Let him cook. They've had some rough patches here and there, but overall they've held pretty strong. So.
Yeah. And not to throw anyone under the bus, but Kelvin Benjamin was in charge of the pass rush this year, the outside linebackers and edges. It's a little unique situation. John Scott Jr. isn't in charge of that, like the
Kelvin
Shepard. Sorry.
I was like, well,
we were talking Cam Newton earlier today, and Kelvin Benjamin, his a big rookie year.
I was like, wait a second. Biggin said Houston wants to join a contender. And at that point, I would argue
that is us.
When I saw that tweet come through, I would argue right now after the Detroit Lions just beat the Broncos and they have a chance at the 2 seed. I would argue that they're a contender right now. And that's
We're talking about the second or third seed in the playoffs. That is a contender.
Yeah, I don't even think that you can't even argue that they are 100% contenders. If I'm not mistaken, I was looking at the odds earlier. I think they have the 6th or 7th best odds to win the Super. Or I think it's the 7th or 8th best odds to win the Super Bowl. That's a contender right there. That's top 4 in your NFC.
That's the Lions number 7th or 8th.
It's a 7 or 8, if I'm not mistaken. I'll confirm it before the show.
Money.
Let's see. Mailbag here. Freddie said, I don't think the Ravens or Niners make it to the Super Bowl this year. Just feels like a wild matchup that nobody will predict. Around the does anyone kind of like say those two teams are out of it? Who's kind of the backup? Do you feel like?
Wait, say it one more time.
Fins up.
If you took out the Fins, man. If you took out the 49ers and the Ravens, and you had to pick two teams instead of them, who are you picking?
Ooh.
Taking the Niners and the Ravens out.
Yeah.
At this very moment.
Yep.
And I'm not going to pick the Lions.
I know mine already. Oh, you can pick the Lions.
At this moment, and I can't believe I'm saying this, at this very moment, I'd say the Bills.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going Cowboys.
No,
that's where I thought he was going.
How are you going to steal Booner's shine like that?
I would go. No, I would go. That's where I was going to go. I was going to go Bills.
I went first.
Yeah,
I mean,
Booner's for sure.
They actually have a run game now.
AFC or NFC, I mean. I don't know. I would either go, to be honest, if I took the 49ers out, I would either go Lions or Eagles.
Ooh.
And Lions are confirmed 8 Super Bowl odds.
If you took the 49ers out of the equation, and I think there's a chance the Lions could play the Eagles at home in an NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like no to the Lions.
Hey, Philadelphia Eagles Chiefs rematch is definitely possible.
Don't you? And I saw this yesterday. That might be the most boring one though.
It would. People wouldn't be interested in it, but I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Vegas?
If the Chiefs end up getting that 1 seed.
In Vegas, they want to shoot. They want Dolphins, Lions. Lions.
I'm gonna bring the logos tomorrow, but did you guys see the Super Bowl logos? The last 5 years, the colors matched up with the teams that played in it. And this year, it was the 49ers, Ravens. The Ravens, it's all purple, and then it's red. But just this week, they released an alternate version of the logo.
Uniform?
And it has blue and red in it. It's a little darker blue, but I mean, I think you might be able to have maybe that's the Lions. I think it might be the Bills, though. All right. Appreciate you guys tuning in. That will do it for us. On your way out, please, everyone, hit that like button. Let's get to 125 likes on your way out. Smack that like button. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. Morning Woodward Show, 8 to 10. BDE to follow. Armani Edwards, heavyweights. And we will be right back here, 8 p.m. Make sure you guys don't miss out. Tell a friend about the show. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Toodles, my G's.
Love you guys.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.